YouTubers, good evening. Happy Thursday night. Today is 22nd of February, almost the 23rd of February, and I really have really good article. I've been talking about this for ages. You know, who's going to pay for a house that's worth less than what they bought it for, and this is what is happening. And don't forget to join me Wednesday nights for Trends in the Housing Market, 7 p.m. Tijuana time, 7 p.m. Vancouver time. Find out what time that is in your area, checking online. And you get to meet this guy. He's always on my chat there. He's always chatting there with us in the chat section. Anyways, let me just close these comments here and let's move on. BC housing taxes could put recent buyers underwater on mortgages. And I remember this was happening like at Wells Fargo in the States and all these different banking institutions, Bank of America. A lot of people were just turning in their keys at the bank and saying, you know what? I'm not paying for a house worth less than what I bought it for. Or they mail in the keys. It's called jingle mail, where they mail in the keys to the house because they're just not going to pay more money for a house that's worth less than what they bought it for. Victoria, British Columbians who bought homes last year in an attempt to borrow before the federal tightening of mortgage rules could be most at risk of NDP government new housing taxes leads to a drop in prices. I think it's people that bought in the last 3 years. I'm not talking about the last year in Victoria. I'm talking about the last 3, 4, 5 years. Finance Minister Carol James retreated Thursday her desire to moderate BC's housing market with a new speculation tax unveiled this week. As well as an expanded foreign buyer tax and a tax hike on home sales and school taxes for properties worth more than $3 million. James said, where is that? Oh yeah, James said that her intent is to try to lower the price of housing. If successful, it could mean some recent buyers would find themselves holding mortgages, for they owe more money than they could recoup by selling their property. And especially with the amount of people, with the amount of lines of credit, equity loans, and all that other jazz, that's not going to help. The most worrisome is the people who bought in last year, said at the University of BC professor, the economist Tom Davidoff. I've mentioned this guy already in a few articles. I don't know why this is opening. God bless America. Thank you. Oh, Christ. I don't know why this is opening. I don't know what this is doing. I think that's cute. He's advertising in my face every 3 seconds. Last year, said the university professor, an economist, Tom Davidoff, if you bought 3 years ago, it doesn't matter because prices have gone so high, it's very unlikely they'd go underwater. I don't know about 3 years. But if you bought in the last year, you are at risk. But that's what happens, people. And the year is the most worrisome. Underwater is a term, whatever. You guys know what it means. If you don't know what that means, you're on the wrong channel. Some of these buyers rush to secure mortgages for more money than they'd otherwise be allowed to borrow under the stiffer interest rate stress test. I gotta breathe there. That Ottawa introduced on January 1st. That's 2018. Those owners are particularly vulnerable to both interest rate increases and decline in house prices, said Davidoff. It's unclear how many mortgages in BC would be underwater if housing prices dropped. The most recent statistics we calculated by the Bank of Canada in 2016 that suggest that 50% drop in housing prices would be 1/8 mortgages in the greater Vancouver underwater, and a 25% drop will put in 4 mortgages underwater. 1 in 4 mortgages underwater. The bank said Thursday those remain. It's the most current calculations. The BC Ministry of Finance could not prove statistics. Remember all these underlying things that are happening? Remember, people? These underlying things that we have no way of calculating, no way. They don't even know who owns half these houses. They don't even know what's going on. They don't even know if they're tricking or treating. They have no idea. So they have no idea what's going on in these houses, and it's becoming a really big problem. So now The house is worth almost $6.5 million, making it eligible to pay higher school taxes under the new measure introduced on Tuesday's BC. Properties valued higher than $3 million would be subject to a 0.2% tax on between the value of $3 to $4 million and a 0.4% tax on assessed value over $4 million beginning next year. The calculated that will be paid almost $12,000 in additional school taxes each year, which is not in the budget of as pensioners. So this is a big deal. This is going to start writing these long drawn articles to confuse the crap out of people and using fancy terms like we were reading in Trends in the Housing Market the other night. Just these bizarre terms that no one's ever heard, and calming investors, and that's what it's all about. And this is what's going to happen. It's going to get worse. As real as this hair is on my head, things are going to get worse. You have, as sure as my name, you're going to see. You're going to see. It's going to be bad. And you know what? I'm been trying to tell and beg people to listen to me for the last 5 to 6 years. And for the people that have been calling me, telling me I'm spun and have no idea what I'm talking about, I've seen it in 2006 and 2007 in South Florida. I've seen this happen in Toronto in the 80s. I think it was late 80s up until the early 90s when they had the massive crash. I've seen it. I've seen it all over. And you know what? It ain't good. Once it starts kicking off, you start seeing everything fall apart faster than a house of cards. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think. Comment below. I'd like to know what you guys think on this one. I'll leave a link to the article so you could read the novel here if you want. Thanks for watching.